This is James Taylor's sort of underground masterpiece. It was the flip side of Fire and Rain when it came out in 1970, called Anywhere Like Heaven. A beautiful tune, very short on the album, and but it's a great example of some of the cool licks he does. It doesn't have any of this one in it. Doesn't have any of those in there, but it has a lot of picking patterns where he's doing a 3-3-2 pattern. What I just did there on the D chord, and we're going to be talking about that. We're mostly going to be talking about a lot of the tendencies he has in a lot of his songs, but this is one that is fairly approachable without some of the really complex things of like Country Road and even Fire and Rain. So if you listen to the song, get familiar with it. It's on Sweet Baby James, which I have a lot of lessons on tunes from Sweet Baby James right now, and a couple more even in the pipeline. So, but anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about here. Now, a lot of the record, the original studio recording, was heavy on other instruments, piano and pedal steel guitar, and it made it pretty difficult to hear what the guitar was doing. But I thankfully, uncovered a version of him playing it just by himself on stage in 1970 with just him and the guitar. And a lot of what I put in the lesson is based on that, rather than note for note what happened on the studio album. But I have everything that I could hear well from the studio album in this. So we'll talk about some of the chords in the and they're all fairly normal. This is one that he doesn't do capoed. It's just open standard tuning in the key of G, and I guess I will go into some of his tendencies even right here. The one thing that he does a lot of with his G chords is plays them as a G5, meaning no B's in the chord, only G's and D's, essentially a power chord, and that's by having the top two strings at the 3rd fret. Now, sometimes he fingers this in a way I'm not going to recommend, as a normal G, and then flattens out his 4th finger and makes a little bar across those 2 strings. You're welcome to mess with that if you want, but it's just as efficient and probably much better sounding to play it with your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers. And that's the way we're going to be playing it here, because we're also going to be adding other bass notes to that, an F sharp in the bass, sometimes a B in the bass, and even an E in the bass, making it an E minor 7. All of that done with the D and the G on the top string. So, coming up, I will be breaking down as much as you probably are going to care about with respect to Anywhere Like Heaven.